Right, so here is the thing. Last month, we had that massive blackout across Spain and Portugal. Millions of people, no power, no communication, complete chaos for hours. And I sat there thinking, what if that happens here in the UK? What if tomorrow you wake up and everything is gone? Now, I know what you are thinking. That is a bit dramatic, mate. But here is what most people do not realize. The average person in the UK has less than 3 days worth of food at home. 3 days. And if something goes wrong, a power grid failure, severe weather, civil unrest, you have got about 72 hours before things get interesting. So today, I am doing something different. I challenged myself to build the ultimate 72-hour survival kit, a proper bug-out bag, for under 50 quid. That is it. 50 pounds. And I am going to test every single item to show you what actually works and what is a complete waste of money. Let us get into it. But before we dive in, I want to know something from you. Drop a comment right now. Where are you watching this from? Are you in London, Manchester, Scotland, Wales? Or maybe you are watching from somewhere completely different. I am genuinely curious because survival prep looks very different depending on where you live. Someone in the Scottish Highlands has completely different needs than someone in central London, right? And here is the second question I want you to think about while watching this video. What do you already have at home that could go in a bug-out bag? Maybe you have got a torch somewhere, or a first aid kit from years ago, or some camping gear collecting dust in the garage. Comment below and let me know what you have already got sorted. I will be reading through all of them later, and honestly, some of you probably have better setups than me already. Right, so let us talk about what we are building here. A bug-out bag, or Bob as the preppers call it, is basically a grab-and-go kit that has everything you need to survive for 72 hours away from home. The idea is simple. If something happens and you need to leave your house quickly, you grab this bag and you are sorted for 3 days. Now, the American preppers go absolutely mental with this stuff. They have got bags worth thousands of dollars, enough gear to survive a nuclear apocalypse. But here in the UK, we need to be a bit more practical and budget-friendly. So my rules for this build were: total budget £50 maximum. Everything must be legal to carry in the UK. It needs to actually fit in a standard backpack. And most importantly, every item must be tested and proven to work. Let us start with the bag itself. Alright, first things first, bag. Now you could spend 50 quid just on a fancy tactical backpack, but that would blow our entire budget on day one. So I went with this 40-liter hiking backpack from Amazon. Cost me £12. 12 quid! And look at this. Multiple compartments, padded straps, a hip belt to distribute the weight, and this mesh pocket on the side for water bottles. Is it going to last 10 years of hardcore use? Probably not. But for an emergency bag that might sit in your closet for months, it is absolutely perfect. The key thing with any bug-out bag is comfort. If you need to walk for hours, maybe even a full day, you need something that will not destroy your shoulders. This one has got decent padding, and at 40 liters it is big enough to fit everything without being so massive that you look like you are going on a 3-week expedition. Running total, £12. Okay, let us talk about the single most important thing in any survival situation. Water. You can survive weeks without food, but without water, you are looking at 3 days, maybe less if you are exerting yourself or it is hot outside. And here in the UK, while we are not exactly in the desert, finding clean drinking water is not as easy as you might think. So item number 1, a 1-liter metal water bottle. Got this from a charity shop for 2 quid. Why metal? Because you can boil water in it if you need to. Plastic bottles will melt. Metal will not, simple as that. But here is the game changer, this personal water filter straw. This thing cost me £8, and it can filter up to 1,000 liters of water. That is enough for, well, a very long time. Let me show you how this actually works. I am at this stream here. You can see the water is not exactly crystal clear. Bit murky, probably got all sorts of nasties in it. But with this filter, completely drinkable. No weird taste, no grit, nothing. It filters out 99.99% of bacteria and parasites. For 8 quid, this is probably the best value item in the entire bag. I have also got these water purification tablets as a backup. These were £3 for 50 tablets. Each one purifies 1 liter of water in about 30 minutes. They leave a slight chemical taste, but honestly, when you are in a survival situation, you are not going to be picky about taste. Now here is a quick question for all of you watching. How much water do you have stored at home right now? Not the water in your tap. I mean actual stored water that you could grab if the supply got cut off. Drop a comment and be honest. Most people have basically nothing, and that is actually terrifying when you think about it. Running total 25 pounds. Alright, water sorted. Now let us talk food. For a 72-hour kit, you do not need to pack a 3-course meal. What you need is calories, enough energy to keep you moving, keep you thinking clearly, and keep your morale up. Because let me tell you, when everything has gone wrong, a decent meal can make all the difference psychologically. So here is what I have got. First up, energy bars. I got a box of 12 of these from Aldi for £4. That is 48 hours worth of energy right there, and they are compact enough that they barely take up any space. Taste test. Yeah, they are not exactly gourmet, but they do the job. Each bar has got about 250 calories, plenty of carbs, and they will not melt or go off for months. Next, instant porridge sachets. These were £1.50 for 8 sachets. Now, you do need hot water for these, but we will get to fire making in a minute. The great thing about porridge is it is warm, filling, and gives you sustained energy throughout the morning. I have also packed some instant coffee sachets, essential for morale, let us be honest, some sugar packets I saved from cafes, and a small bag of mixed nuts for protein. Total food cost about £7. Everything goes into these Ziploc bags, keeps it waterproof, keeps it organized, and you can see exactly what you have got at a glance. Now, I want to ask you lot something. If you had to grab food from your kitchen right now for a 72-hour emergency, what would you actually take? Not what you should take, what would you realistically grab? Comment below because I think some of these answers are going to be hilarious. Grab the entire biscuit tin and a bottle of wine. I can already see it. Oh, and one more thing. This little folding spork. £1 from a camping shop. You would be amazed how much you miss cutlery when you do not have it. Running total £33.50. Right, we have got water and food sorted, but here in the UK there is one thing that will get you faster than hunger or thirst. The bloody weather. We all know what British weather is like. You could leave your house in sunshine and be caught in a storm 2 hours later, and if you are wet and cold with no shelter, hypothermia can set in surprisingly fast, even in summer. So, the first essential, an emergency bivy bag. This thing cost me £4. It is basically a waterproof, reflective sleeping bag cover. You climb inside and it reflects your body heat back at you while keeping the rain and wind out. Let me show you. It is not exactly comfortable or dignified, but it works. Within about 2 minutes I can already feel the warmth building up. This could genuinely save your life on a cold, wet night. Next up, a military-style poncho. This was £3 from an army surplus shop. What I love about this is it is not just a rain cover. You can use it as a ground sheet, a makeshift shelter, or even a water collector if you set it up right. See? Ground sheet, rain cover. And if I tie these corners to some trees, basic shelter. £3, absolute bargain. Speaking of tying things, I have got 10 meters of paracord here. £2. This stuff is incredibly strong and has hundreds of uses. Shelter building, securing gear. Maybe a wild camping test where I actually use all this gear for 72 hours? Drop your suggestions in the comments because I am planning more content like this and I want to make stuff that you actually want to watch. If you found this useful, smash that like button. It really helps the algorithm show this video to more people who might need it. And if you are not subscribed yet, what are you doing? Hit subscribe and the bell so you do not miss the next one. Remember, being prepared is not about fear, it is about freedom. The freedom of knowing that whatever happens, you have got a plan. Thanks for watching. Stay safe.